as we were talking about Sayyidina Umar bin Abdul Aziz Rahimahullah in our previous sessions, at that time we talked about his childhood, how he was raised, and now it's time to talk about his achievements as Khalifa. How did he achieve? What did he achieve? Just to mention everything in few words so that we won't get lost in this long talk. The gist of everything is that when Umar bin Abdul Aziz Rahimahullah did what was instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Iman and Amal Salih was established in his life. He made sure it was established in his family. Then he made sure it was established in the country that he was ruling. He had such a khilafah that from that day up to this day, remember this, from that day up to this day, with everything that we have, no one had that type of khilafah up to this day. No country had such a peaceful life as they had during the time of the Khilafah of Umar bin Abdul Aziz Rahimahullah. This is not just a theory, this is not a matter of just Iman, that people say that this is how it was and we will believe, oh, because Umar bin Abdul Aziz was a good man, so his Khilafah must have been great. No. This is history that explains everything to us. Everything has been written in black and white. And we have the history talking about the rulers before him and rulers after him. If people wanted to make up, they would have made up about other people too. This is a history that explains everything in detail, everything that was taking place and that happened during that time. Such a khilafah, such a peaceful life that no one had it before or after. That when he used to write letters to the other rulers in the world, they used to be happy and grateful to receive a letter from this man, and they used to say that this is a blessed letter of a blessed man. This is how they used to honor the letters from Umar bin Abdul Aziz Rahimahullah. Very quickly, how did he become a Khalifa? Sulaiman bin Abdul Malik, who was the ruler of the time, and he was Amir al-Mu'mineen. He was a person who was always hoping to establish Khilafah according to the Khilafah al-Rashida. He loved deen. He had a lot of love for establishing this deen and bringing back into the life after people started getting into traditions and different things. But he wasn't the man. You know, people have different abilities. Not every person can do what he hopes for. But sincerity counts. And not only sincerity, with sincerity we have to prove it, and that is do whatever we can within our control, and then see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring the results up front. We can only do to a certain extent, that's it. After that, beyond that, it's beyond our control. We can't do nothing about it. It's totally in the controls of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we have to have that sincerity, that zeal, and then put our effort and do whatever we can within our abilities, everything that we can, and then see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it happen. Sulaiman bin Abdul Malik was hoping to have a rule like it was before during the time of Khulafa al-Rashidun, and he was trying for it, but as he would try, he would have obstacles where he would give up. He wasn't the man for it. Subhanallah, he was very young, at the age of 40, after ruling for only 2 years and some months, at the age of 40, the destined time that was assigned for him, that arrived, and it was time for him to leave this world. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in a hadith, which is in Sunan, that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes a ruler, He assigns a good helper to this ruler. Whenever the person forgets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that person would remind him, and when he remembers, that person will help him do what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that helper could be like, as we call it, wazir, prime minister, or could be your friend, could be the son, could be the wife, could be the husband. Whenever Allah likes a person and the efforts of a person, assigns a good helper to this person. As Sulaiman bin Abdul Malik was in his last days of this life, he started thinking to assign someone as the Khalifa after him. And of course, the first thing he thought of was his own sons. And the next thing would come into his mind would be his brothers. And this is how the Khilafah was going amongst brothers. But he thought, why don't I give it to my sons? One of the great scholars that was very close to him, and he trusted him for his opinions, he asked him, and his name was Raja ibn Haywa. He asked Raja ibn Haywa, what should I do? This is what I'm thinking of. Raja ibn Haywa says to Sulaiman bin Abdul Malik, that just listen to what I have to say, my opinion, and then you decide. I will not decide, of course. He says this will be the last deed that you will do, that you will perform as a Khalifa, as Amir al-Mu'mineen. And this will be the first thing you will be questioned about after you go into your grave. That who did you assign as the ruler, as Amir for all the believers? Who did you trust for the matters of this ummah? To who did you hand over all the important matters of the ummah? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam will confront you on the day of judgment to question you about this, that who did you assign as a ruler after me? Because this is assigning the khilafah, the imara, and the affairs of the ummah into the hands of that person. Who did you assign? Was it a person that you assigned because you liked, because you wanted to, or because you thought the person was deserving it? And the very same rule applies to every situation and status that we normally nominate people for or vote for people for. That is it because my friend, I like the person, or he will favor me, he will do what I would like to do, or he's a deserving person. Question that we will be asked on the day of judgment. It's an amana, it's a trust. So after hearing this, he says, on the day of judgment, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will question you about it. Allah will ask you about the situation of the ummah, everything wrong that will happen in the ummah because of assigning a wrong person. Oh Sulaiman, remember, you will be responsible for that. It will be part of your deeds, either good or bad. Hearing these words shook up Sulaiman bin Abdul Malik. Raja bin Haywa continues to say that Sulaiman, remember one thing. If you have done good deeds, and I know that you tried your best, if you have done good deeds throughout your life, at this time, at the time of departing the world, you will assign a wrong person. This will wash away all of your good deeds that you have performed, because you are responsible for assigning that person who will bring all the wrong over there in the ummah. Sulaiman seriously started thinking about it, and it did not take him long. Right away, he says, Raja, I was thinking of my son. Now I need your opinion. What do you think about Umar bin Abdul Aziz? Raja bin Haywa says, that was the only person in my mind. I wanted to mention his name, but I was afraid that if I would mention it, he would reject it. But as soon as I heard it from him, I said, this will be your best choice. This will be the best deed that you will do in your life. Sulaiman said to him, if people will know, my family members will know what I have done, that I have assigned Umar bin Abdul Aziz, they will not accept him. There is no way that these people will accept him. Because Khilafah is going in our family. Now, this is our cousin. He's not supposed to be the Khalifa.